Hello, everyone. You're watching the ninth episode of the Transatlantic Crypto Podcast, and we are your co-hosts are here right now. Me, Eugene Ravanenko, aka CryptoEmcee from the European side. I'm in the Ukraine right now, not in Belarus, and my host, R.L. Bryer, aka Pittsburgh HODLr, the author of the Bitcoin Renaissance, Bryer.io, the famous crypto enthusiast. He's been staying on the crypto scene since 2009, since the first block had been mined. Hello, my friend. I hope you're fine. We didn't see you for so long. Let's start with your news. What are the news on your side?
Oh man, since the last time you and I talked, a lot has happened in the entire world here, so we have a lot to cover today. Let's just start with the really good news out of like the institutional side of Bitcoin and crypto. We've been waiting for so long for the institutional players to come in, and now we have MicroStrategy and Michael Saylor coming out and admitting that they bought originally like over $430 million, $430 million worth of Bitcoin, I believe. And then I saw today, just this morning, that they admitted, or they released that they bought like another $50 million. So MicroStrategy has bought around 500 million, I think, or no, 700 million. And then he personally has bought hundreds of millions of dollars of Bitcoin as well. So we see a lot of billionaires coming into the space now. Tim Draper really led the way there. I don't know, a long time ago when he bought the Silk Road coins, and Paul Tudor Jones. And it just seems like we're starting to see a lot more belief now that Bitcoin's over a decade old in the security of the network and the assets. So it's great to see. And then, since you and I talked last, I think the price was still under 15K, and now we're up here just hanging out at $19,000. It's hard to ignore that. 19,200 as you and I are talking right now. Beautiful time to be alive, but we also have a lot of turmoil surrounding the election in the United States. And as you and I always talk about, democracy and statism. And there's a lot of uncertainty here. So Bitcoin just keeps plugging along through all of this. And it's really just a sign of how strong the network is and the community of people that believe in decentralized peer-to-peer digital cash that, no state can come in and just wreck. So I think that's a good way to segue into what's going on with you.
Yeah, my core news are a month ago, I actually escaped from the Belarus dictatorship, Lukashenko's mayhem and madness due to safety reasons. And I didn't want to stay there anymore because I'm a public person. And I know that the Belarusian KGB, or the KGB, the Secret Service, they are searching for all the public people who is to say not support the events in Belarus, because I'm the anarchist. I'm against all the dictatorship, and the Lukashenko dictatorship is one of the worst dictatorship ever existed in the world, like Mugabe, like Kim Jong-un in North Korea, and so on and so forth. That's a pity, but many good men and women escaped from Belarus, moved from Belarus to outside for different safety reasons. And right now, I'm in the Ukraine. The country is below Belarus, very big country, a lot of beautiful girls here. The most of foreign men are coming here for dating and so on and so forth. And right now, I'm in the office of my partners, Trusty Wallet, one of the easiest wallets, crypto wallet I ever know. And I'm the ambassador of Trusty Wallet, and these guys are preparing a good release for 15th of December. This is the easiest way to buy or sell Bitcoin and other crypto via bank cards without KYC and AML, and really enjoy that. I'm super enjoy to talk about them. It's very, I'm feeling myself good. There is no, no any danger for me being here in the Ukraine. That's my core news. So I'm very happy that I changed the outside city. By the way,
yeah, I'm super happy that you made it out of there safe. And this sort of makes me remember something that Hans Hermann Hoppe said about the cost of being an anarcho-capitalist is pretty large, especially when you're a media personality. So I'm happy you made it out of there safe, and I wish you the best in Ukraine. I'd like to come over there and check that out someday when the world gets back to normal.
Great. I want to ask you, we know that Joseph Biden, the socialist, the crazy socialist, won an election. What does it mean for the United States, for American capitalism? Does it mean the end of the capitalist America we knew before? It's a pity to say, but we economists, also economists here, we consider the situation the same way. What do you?
Yeah, it's hard to say whether or not things will change a lot in the the regular way that things go about stays the same pretty much in the United States as far as like Wall Street and stuff. Nothing ever really changes too much. I mean, that didn't change much under Trump. The national debt grew more under him in 4 years than any president in the history of our country here. So I don't know how much. I think that the scary part is that his VP Kamala Harris is pretty far left, and I think she believes in a lot of like communist ideals and socialist ideals, as you were alluding to, and he's pretty old, so there is that that chance that she'll be given the opportunity to come in there and maybe do some things. But I'm trying to remain optimistic on that front still. I don't really completely know whether or not this election's even finished yet, because the media has been calling this election, but as we know, the media isn't generally on the side of the people. So I'm not really sure what's going on, if it's going to be brought to the Supreme Court or not. So that would be pretty interesting if it goes to the Supreme Court. And they're trying. There's just so much evidence. And I don't vote. We're both anarcho-capitalists, but there's a lot of evidence. If you're going to pretend that democracy is a good system, you should at least make sure it's valid, and that that the system that you're pretending to use is. But it's just all facade at this point. There's hundreds of thousands of ballots that were brought forth after hours and when no one was around, it seems, and just all sorts of things that voting machine errors that. It's just not a good look for democracy, and especially for the United States right now. So, yeah, I don't know. We're not really in the capitalist world that you and I would like to see, true voluntary exchange, and these corporations will probably just grow even more under this administration. I would imagine we continue to lose ground in that regard. So capitalism gets a bad name because of these guys, and it's a shame.
Well, I know you have been tracking the Bitcoin price all these years. Did Bitcoin hit the all-time high in November or December 2020, if to compare with 2017? Did it?
Yeah, in my opinion, it did. I saw. I used CoinGecko for a lot of my data. I like their site. It's pretty clean, and yeah, I use theirs, and by their data, it broke the all-time high. So. I think I don't remember the exact number on there, but yeah, it cracked the all-time high. I was watching it and I updated and saw the new all-time high.
The historical maximum of Bitcoin price has been 1980. It didn't hit 20,000, yes, at a psychological level. How do you explain?
Yeah, on some exchanges, I think it did hit 20K, and that's sort of why a lot of people were like, until it breaks 20K, we're not celebrating it. But I wasn't in that camp, because I went by a different. I never said that the all-time high was 20K. So I went by the 19,673 or whatever it was, something like that. I went by that, and then I think it ended up breaking it by like $100 or something like that.
How do you explain the price rising of Bitcoin this year? Is that the history, the genesis of the situation is quite different if you compare with 2017, because 3 years passed and we know more about crypto industry. How do you explain this rising of
I really think it's these institutional investors and people that have people that have a ton of money that they're really worried. Glad you. That was a great question because in the United States, these people that have a lot of money, like these billionaires and stuff, and around the world, are finally figuring out that the dollar is doomed, and the dollar is the world's reserve currency. And just this year, the Federal Reserve added 24% of all dollars in circulation to the money supply. So it almost doesn't even seem like a real figure, but that's a figure that's floating around mainstream news, and it's not some crazy figure that I'm making up on the spot. 24% of all dollars in circulation were created this year. So that is an absolutely terrifying thing. And all of these people that are sitting on tons of money know if they lose 15% or 10% a year annually, that their money just evaporates over 5 or 10 years. So anybody who's holding that sort of cash is definitely looking for a place to store their value over time. And I think Bitcoin is it's the obvious choice. I think it will be digital gold. It is digital gold. I think there's going to be a privacy coin, something like Monero, but I honestly think it'll be Mimblewimble. There's ones that I'm interested in, and I'm not going to just shill them here, but I think that'll be the medium of exchange. We'll have something like that where we run like a full node on our wallets, and we all verify our own transactions as we move about the world. That'll be the end game for scalability, I think. But at the end of the day, I think people would probably want to hold Bitcoin because of the scarcity and just the security overall of the network. At this point is just the first mover advantage. It's just too much for something else to overcome, probably.
Well, Bitcoin has been victoriously marching for 12 years on the planet Earth, and nobody will kill them. Did you hear about that Chinese people created a new quantum computer? There is some news a couple of days ago. Did you hear that?
I heard people asking again about quantum, if there was a fear of quantum computing just yesterday on Twitter. I didn't get to read the story about China in particular, though.
Okay. So 2020 is finishing. Work it comes to kind of thing. It was a crazy year, but nonetheless, 2021 is coming. What expectations do you have regarding crypto? What trends do you see? For example, I'm super interested in non-fungible tokens topic or NFT. I want to try to deep dive in this topic. Or blockchain domains like .eth or .crypto.
Mm-hmm.
Super interesting topic. What trends do you expect in the upcoming 2021?
Yeah, super interesting that you mentioned the domains. I love that. I think that's the future of just simplifying crypto for the masses and for payments. So I'm all about that. I think that's super cool. As far as like trends, I really am huge on the Oracle space outside of Bitcoin. I think that I think these oracles are definitely going to go boom again. Not financial advice, but there's definitely some projects I'm looking at out there. Link, obviously, huge in Chainlink. And I think that the Chinese version, or whatever you want to call it, the DOS, is about to launch 2.0. So I'm interested in that. And then Zap is pretty interesting. He's the guy who's in leading that, I'm pretty sure, is a big Ron Paul guy. He's an Austrian school guy, I believe. So I'm interested in a lot of these freedom projects and just anything that allows us to interoperate with these blockchains. I think that there's going to be a lot of value provided just over time in, creating just a bigger network overall. So I liken it to like the internet and intranets. Like, who wants to just stay on some small intranet when you have the entire everybody on internet basically. So I think that connecting these things is just going to be like the obvious next step. Yeah, so I'm looking at that stuff. I guess we could speculate about price too. I've had this price target of $65,000 for about 2 years or so now. So I'm going to stick with that. And I'm not going to go with Citibank. Citibank came out and said $318,000 this in the last couple of weeks. I I don't foresee $318,000 this run, but yeah, I think that the future is bright for people who believe in freedom, and it's exciting, man. I think what you did, you just moved. I think that's brave. It's smart. It's brave. I think people like you and I need to like vote with our feet if we believe we need to. So I'm glad you're safe, man. I've been looking forward to talking to you. We need to do one more of these before the end of the year to get our 12 in, I think.
Yes. And the end of the year, we'll make a 10th episode of Transatlantic Crypto Podcast. It'll be the end of December. And you really know that I made a decision to escape from Belarus in 1 hour. Just made and just did. Took the taxi, went to the border, crossed the border not by transport, by my legs with the back of my head. I felt like a really, really political escaper, how to say it, a political refugee even.
Yeah, I'm sure the things that were going through your head were pretty
and
pretty,
first city I visited in the Ukraine when I escaped was Lviv, the birthplace of Ludwig von Mises, the former Lamberg. And I had found the memorial plate on the table of Street Akademika Hnatiuka 17, native photo. So I realized my dream. I was dreaming to visit the birthplace of Mises. It was one of the brilliantest moments in this escape,
Yeah, that was super cool because I saw that you escaped, and then I got on social media and I saw you were at the birthplace of Mises, and I'm like,
so
that was super cool.
Was great to talk to you today. See you in the 10th episode, ladies and gentlemen. Please stay crypto, stay Austrian, explore economics, explore blockchain technology, explore theory, explore practice, live freedom, stay free, stay liberty. We are Bryer from the US side of the podcast, and me, Eugene, aka CryptoEmcee, from the European Ukrainian side of this podcast. See you in the 10th episode of Transatlantic.
Have a great night.